Do you ever feel like giving up on your dream? Like walking away after you get rejected? Well, you're not alone. Meet Juano Guarnido. Guarnido is one of the most successful and respected comic artists in the world, and the artist and co-creator of Blacksad. Blacksad has been translated into over 30 languages, and today ranks #1 on France's IMDb of comics, above even Tintin and Asterix. But at 26 years old, Guarnido's portfolio was rejected by Marvel Comics. And he was so distraught by this rejection, he quit making comics entirely. Now, years later, he's a comic superstar. What happened in between? Well, after spending way too much money on this out-of-print vague Nuv book that didn't answer my question, I decided to reach out to Guarnido directly and ended up conducting a long interview with him. And both Guarnido's story and his approach to making comics were incredibly surprising to me. His journey, in many ways, has been marked by disappointment after disappointment, but all of those disappointments were leading him to exactly where he needed to be. The root cause of Guarnido's problems, as far as I can tell, starts with his father. That's probably true for a lot of us, but that's not what I mean in this case. You see, Guarnido's father was a huge supporter of his drawing. At 4 years old, when Guarnido drew a sketch of his tiny seaside town on the coast of Spain, his father submitted it to the local newspaper. When Guarnido expressed interest in Disney, his father brought home stacks of how to draw Disney books and Disney comics. He turned him on to Asterix and Karl Barks, but he also got him books about the old masters of painting. See, unlike almost every other family in the 1960s, Guarnido's didn't distinguish between high art and low art. Uderzo was there on the same shelf as Michelangelo. So Guarnido, the budding artist, had this mixed up artistic style that mixed cartooniness and realism. And then he made the discovery that made it all even more confusing.
When I was small, a guy from my village told me about Spider-Man. This guy told me, I have this book, and it's about a sorcerer that pulls spiders out of his veins. I say, what? What is that? And when I saw Spider-Man, I say, this is not sorcerer. What is this? But this is fantastic. This is incredible. What is that? A superhero. And I love the Spider-Man with a vengeance.
Now, as a teenager obsessed with superheroes, he began contributing his work to Spain's comic fanzines, where he met other young artists like Carlos Pacheco and Salvador Larroca.